Howdy, Possum Patty here, and it is Slow Stitch Sunday, and this is my Just Because book, so come on along. During the last episode of Slow Stitch Sunday, I was working on this page, and I finished it up by putting some pink crosses in the background. I put yellow in the windows. I stitched all around the car, put yellow headlights, pink hubcaps, and some gray stitches on the wheels. I made a little stoop here for the front of the building with this raspberry colored thread. Finished up the tree. And then I wanted to add the words, "Let's go," and still using this garden flag or wall hanging, whatever it is. I cut out the words, "Let's go," but they were a little too big for the page. So I watched one video on somebody sewing letters, and I went ahead and sewed with black embroidery thread, "Let's go," and I put a little arrow here. Oh, this is almost done because the middle of that arrow is going to be pink, I think, and maybe the post that it's on. So it's almost done. It's 99.9% done. I just got to get a pink thread in there. And then I showed it to Mr. Possum, and he said, "What's the story?" So he thought there should be a story to the page. So I said, okay, using more bits off this flag over here. There's a cat on my chair. Oh. You turn the page, and I was also watching another video about somebody had some flaps in their Just Because book, and that gave me an idea for the next page. So these are the people, whoops. Okay, they're leaving their house. They're all jumping in the car yelling, "Let's go, let's go." And they're going over to the, oh, come on now. Oh, she's going to go on my shoulders. They're going over to the country. So this is going to get all sort of sewn down and dolled up. And then this flap is going to open this way. It's going to be 2 layers. And on this side, it's going to be the mountain. So they went out to the country and decided to camp in the mountains under the stars. So here's a little tent. Here's the moon and the stars. I had a couple scraps of this material, so I put some over there. And this will get all embroidered on there, all dolled up, and then putting lots of layers. Another moon there. Okay, cat jumped down. Got my trees. And then I was thinking, I have these little birds that I bought at the Hobby Lobby, and they are buttons. I was thinking about putting a little bird down here and maybe trying to make a buttonhole. Well, the bird will be actually on this page, and then the buttonhole on this page. And this will be a flap that will then button down. Like that. I'll have a little birdie here in the corner. So kind of reminds me of those old fabric books that they used to have for kids with the zippers and the buttons and things in them. And I'm thinking, well, those would be cool ideas to put into a Just Because book. If I can find a little zipper, some buttons, some ties, some interactive elements, I thought that would be really fun. So the first one is going to be a bird button right there. So I have a lot of things to work on here, and I'm sure it's going to take me all week to do it, but I shall share some of it with you today. So all these have to be worked on separately, and then this has to be sewn together, and then this has to be done, and this will get sewn on there. And when these two pages get sewn together, this page is a little bit bigger, so I may put this little strip here along the edge, like that. And now I have more room on this page. So we're going to be camping under the stars in the mountains in our trip out to the country. After we leave home. So that's going to be a lot of work. Lots and lots to do on this. Got to keep all my little pieces together. So I've got lots and lots of material. This is just a micro portion of what I've got saved up. I bought so many quilting scraps last year at, they look like this. There's strips and then there's rectangles. Got a lot of strips. A lot of strips. Trying to get several different greens in here. I may even layer this with a couple of greens. All right, I'm going to cut a piece of this down. Whenever I use a sandwich bag, I wash it out and dry it and save it. And I think I'm going to put these pieces in this bag for right now anyway. And right after I sew the pink, well, I wonder if I should get a different green for here. Stand by. Okay, I went through the bag and I found another piece of Moon and Starry Night. And I could use that for the edging. I love this material. It's got sparkles in it. It's got stars. It's got clouds. These are all scraps from an old project. When I lived on the farm, I got into making what's called dream pillows. And they're just little tiny, like almost like a sachet, but you use herbs, very subtle smelling herbs, and you put them under your pillow when you sleep at night. And they are said to influence your dreams. Some are very calming. Others give you more adventurous dreams. They don't smell very strong. They're very subtle. And you just put it like right under your pillow. Where's the tent? Then the tent, then the sky, and then the tent. Oh, that's a lot of layers. That's a lot of layers. I got to get the tent down a little bit more. Something like that. You can put that over there for a minute. One thing to do to finish this page. I'm just going to put a little bit of pink in here and right in the center of that arrow. If I could find the center. Maybe put a couple of stitches. My skin is very dry again, and I have a split skin at the top of my thumb, and it hurts to grab the needle. So I'm using these pliers because I'm going through 2 layers of this canvas or duck cloth or whatever it is. It's very thick and it's hard to push. If you hear any gurgling in the background, that's my washing machine. We went to the Sunday flea market this morning, and I did buy a few things for this Just Because book. Mr. Possum said I'm going to fill up the room so much there'll be no room for me. And I will share those things on Thrifty Thursday. So I like that. So I put some on down here. Sure, why not? Why not? You know, it's like a junk journal. There's always one more thing you could do on the page. It's going to be very slow sewing today with this thumb. So we went to the flea market, and it's supposed to rain, but this morning it was sunny. And we got there, and there weren't so many vendors. So, you know, I like to talk to the people who are selling things, and I said, where's everybody today? Well, apparently there's a big swap meet up at the Speedway. So if we had known that, we probably would have gone up there. But maybe we'll do that next week. Well, that makes a big difference, I think. Adds a little color in the corner there. I was going with the pink, the black, and the white theme here, although I did add some little touches of other color, but mostly the pink, the black, and the white. And the back of this page will get covered with the back of the next page. Yeah, I was so excited when I saw somebody have these flaps in their Just Because book. Just because I like interactive. Okay, now I think this page is done. And so we'll work on this page. The first thing I want to put on this page is the border. I was going to go with this green, but now I'm going with a lot of threads on here. The sky, I think. Oh, here comes the cat again. Okay, well, the cat is back. I had to go get the washing machine because it stopped. Thread my needle. The first needle I couldn't find, so I got another needle. And I don't like that because I'm afraid the cats will get it. Don't want them to hurt themselves. I'm just going to try to sew here, looking over the cat, and probably just go up and down. Oh, there she goes. Come on, get off the thing. All right, she's on my shoulder. So if you see green sparkle everywhere, the material that I bought at the flea market, I decided just to throw it all into the washing machine. And guess what? The tulle had green sparkles on it. And now everything has green sparkles on it. I put some bits into the dryer, and the tulle I put out on the front porch to dry. Oh, she jumped down. She's been very restless. Very restless. Yesterday I made a pot roast in the oven, and she just circled the house all day. I notice she does that if I'm baking a turkey or some kind of meat in the oven for, you know, kind of long, slow bake stuff. She just circles and circles and circles. So I bought a couple of pieces of fabric. Maybe I should have taken a picture of them before I put them in the wash machine. So hopefully they'll survive the washer dryer. Now I need to change the battery in the camera. Seems like whenever I sit down to do something, the phone rings, the wash machine starts or stops, the cat starts jumping around, Mr. Possum needs something. And there's no kids in the house, but it seems like it sometimes. So I bought a couple of fun things from a couple different vendors. I didn't spend a lot of money. I didn't buy too much. A couple dollars here, a couple of dollars there. It's a good walk. It's good entertainment. Get out, walk around. It's about a mile to do a quick run through. If there's more vendors, it's about a little over a mile. Like I said, not too many vendors today. Next time we might go to the swap meet at the Speedway. See what they have. So I was looking through a box of fabric scraps, and the vendor said, oh, his wife went home to take care of the dogs, and that was her material. And there was a little sign. It said 25 cents for the small pieces, $1 for the large pieces. And so I was picking out a couple of pieces here and there. So the vendor came over. He said, oh, are you a quilter? And I said, no, I'm a junk journaler. And he goes, what? I said, well, I take found items and I put them in a journal. So it's kind of like art journaling, but with stuff that you find. I said, at the flea market, things like that. So he says, oh, if you make something with what you bought today, he said, take a picture and show me next time. So he must be a regular vendor then. I picked out a pile of stuff. It was a little dirty, so that's why I threw it in the washer. I guess I should get into the habit of washing material that I bring home from the flea market. People have it stored in their basement and in their attic, and it can get dusty and musty and whatever. And I threw in some ribbon I bought last year. It's It's been sitting in the drawer. And I keep trying to get it to smell better. And not having much luck, so I just threw that in the wash machine too. I can't leave it in the dryer too long though, I don't think. Oh, you take a chance when you buy something like that. Okay, I made 3 rows of stitches here. And now I'm going to add a little bit of sky. And I'll probably just maybe stitch around the edge. And I cut most of the stars off to make the material fit in the book. I could take some yellow thread or some gold thread and make some new stars. Oh, you know what? Wait, stop. Stop, 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 stop. Stop, 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 stop. You know what? I am not going to put this down. I forgot all about my flap already. Ah. I wanted to put that over the flap. Well, you know, you got to think about everything ahead of time. Thinking about everything ahead of time. So I can't sew this in yet either then. I can sew on the grass. The grass can go on. But the tent is going to go a little bit over the sky. So that's going to have to wait also. As I put the tent down a little further. Don't really need this, do I? Okay, this cannot go on. Put it there. This can go on. Okay, and that's going to be just a bit of straight stitching. Greens. Greens, greens, greens. Well, I just learned about some of this is embroidery thread and some of this floss you buy is crafting thread for the kids to make bracelets and things out of. And it's got a different texture. This is more like rope. It's twisted, where the embroidery floss is flat. But I got this really pretty variegated. I'm going to sew on here. So tell me, are you making a Just Because book? Is your book a little bit more abstract, or do you like representative? Representative would be like, this represents, you know, a house, a tree, a car. It's a little bit of a story. It's a fly and a flower, another flower and a butterfly, of course. Or do you just do like abstract kind of collage? Colors, forms, shapes, textures. Do you have anything that's interactive? Flaps, buttons. Zippers, dare I say zippers? I'm gonna have to turn this. Am I in the camera? Okay, let's try this way. And yes, it is harder to sew when the pages are in the book. Next time, I've been told to use ugly material for the pages, make blocks, and sew them on. So you don't have to deal with the book. Although this book is small and soft, so it's not too hard. The only hard part is when you get close to the spine there. I know I'm just doing a lot of freestyle, running freestyle. Back and forth, back and forth. And that's okay. This is a much more muted variegation than the other ones I bought. This is a little sneak preview of something from the flea market this morning. You'll see the whole deal that I got on Thursday. And they call this craft thread. The lady I bought it from, she didn't even know the difference. She was using it for sewing also. So I started buying thread at the store. You know, here and there I was picking up a couple of colors. Because, you know, they're only 50 cents. So you go in, you get a couple of colors. And my thumb is getting sore again. There we go. And then last week the flea market started. And I got some last week, and I got some this week, and now there is no possible way, oh, here comes trouble, ever use all this thread up. And last year it was with material. I wasn't even doing the just because, I was just looking for material, you know, for journal covers and stuff like that. That one real quick, and the cat in my way here. And hit the jackpot with quilting scraps. Okay, I'm going to have to move this a little bit because the cat wants to get in my face and it's hard to see what I'm doing. So I'll just go back and forth, back and forth. I'll be right back. That crafting thread has a bit of a different texture, but it looks good, I think. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of stitches on there with the variegated green. I put a pin on the moon so I wouldn't lose it. I just lost the tent. It was down on the floor. So I think I'm going to put a pin on the tent for now, so the cat doesn't run off with it. And what I'm going to do is some work on the blocks. So I've got all my stitching done on there. Makes such a nice texture. And I made really good progress today by finishing off this first page. And the story goes, the fam jumps into the car and everybody yells, "Let's go!" And they follow the arrow and they take their drive out to the country, where they decide to go camping under the stars up in the mountains. Of course, there's going to be a lot of thread play on these pages. I can see me putting some color in the mountains and some more stars in the sky, doing something with my tent. I got to put my little bird down there for the button, and the bird will be sitting right here. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll probably work on this during the week and come back on the next Slow Stitch Sunday and show you how my little story turned out. And then I'll be ready to move on to the next story. Ooh, strawberries. So I just want to wish everybody happy slow stitching. And thanks for coming along today. Bye-bye.